Hi, and welcome to Cover Brand, where we cover all things branding, marketing, and advertising to help you understand what the hell branding is and how it works to grow your business. Welcome and welcome back to Cover Brand. I'm Ethan Decker, your host, and today I have with me Debbie Huttner from Pearl Wealth. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Ethan.
I think we should just jump into it right away. So let's start with cover songs. What do you have in your Rolodex of music in terms of cover songs that you either love or hate?
Well, there aren't that many that I hate, but there is one, You Can't Hurry Love by Phil Collins. I like
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
pretty much anything by Earth, Wind, and Fire or Journey.
Okay. Well, the Phil Collins one I absolutely remember. And that was like 82. Phil Collins did You Can't Hurry Love. And that's a Diana Ross and the Supremes number from the 60s at some point.
There you go.
Um, and you know what else is great about that song? It's a really good karaoke song.
Which you and I have done together, which I really
That's right. That's right. It's good because it's not crazy hard to sing. There are not these long pauses in the song where you're standing there looking weird. And most people know the song, so they like to sing along with the chorus, which is always helpful.
that is true.
And
That
it's a blistering, probably 2.25 minute long song. So then you're out of there.
exactly. You can't
Yeah,
hurry that song, which is nice.
true, true. No, I think Phil Collins did a good job with that one.
Yeah. Job.
I don't know of Journey covers. Do you know of many Journey covers that are particularly interesting or memorable?
No, but my knowledge of music is about I was not very cool in high school, and so I just don't really know a ton about music. I know a lot about Louisa May Alcott. I watched Little Women with my daughter yesterday.
Nice, nice. Okay. Well, when you're on the Little Women podcast, you can share that information as well. They will love to know that.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk. Oh, wait. Before we get into covering your brand work, we're going to take a quick break for a message from our sponsors. Cover Brand is supported by Segmentation Eau de Toilette, the new fragrance for those who slice up their market. It has beautiful high notes of occasions with just a hint of demographics. Segmentation Eau de Toilette. Show the world you have focus. And we're back. Debbie Huttner, Pearl Wealth. Let's tell the folks listening about Pearl Wealth, and then we can get into what your brand question is.
Pearl Wealth is a boutique wealth management firm. We manage money for high net worth individuals and private family foundations. And we do holistic financial planning. So we integrate investment strategy, retirement planning, college planning, tax planning, and estate. I have a law degree and a business degree and the CFP. So I integrate all those different skills in helping my clients achieve their financial goals.
Is that common to have a financial planner who has that mix of talents and therefore that mix of services?
I don't think having all those degrees is common. I happen to love school. No, having all those degrees is not common. Most financial advisors do not have a law degree, nor do they have a business degray.
Got it.
Don't even have the CFP. So no.
Okay. So when it comes to marketing and branding, when it comes to business, what's the state of your business? Are you happy with where it is? Do you feel like you've got some big goals? Do you feel like there's something that's not working well?
I feel happy with my business and it's been very successful since inception. I just started it about 7 years ago. I worked at another firm before that. So I'm really happy with where it's at. And I'm also a very goal-oriented person. And I'm reading a book right now called The Science of Scaling,
Mm.
Marty. And I've been thinking about what are my impossible goals. He talks about this idea of having impossible goals. And I'd like to double my business in the next 12 months and how to think about doing that and to what extent does my brand actually matter. I've really prided myself on having done zero marketing. All of my clients have come through word of mouth, and I manage a little bit under 100 million in assets right now. So I've never really done any marketing or branding or really thought about the brand, but
Mhm.
I do have fairly lofty goals for the next 12 months. So if there's a way that I should be leveraging my brand, I would love your expertise.
Okay. Well, let's start with one one thing I talk about, which is just clarifying what is brand. And I see two ends of the spectrum. It's sometimes helpful to think about this, and especially in your case. On one end of the spectrum, brand is your logo, your colors, your mascot, your jingle, things like that. And it sounds like that hasn't been super important. Certainly, you have a logo and you have some brand colors, right? I think your colors are blue and teal and things like that. And your company has a name, Pearl Wealth. It's not just Debbie Huttner Investments, which itself is a brand, just like Ford Motor Company. Um, but that's the like little B brand, the colors, the logos, the fonts. And then there's big B brand, which is nothing more nor less than your reputation. So you have a reputation, right?
I do.
Yeah. And it might be among a small group, it might be among a large group. Maybe you've been doing industry talks and conference talks where your reputation is getting out, people are hearing about you. Or just like you said, through word of mouth, people are sharing info with each other about you and your services.
That
That, yeah, so that's big B brand. And for those who don't have a lot of jingles and colors and mascots, your brand is really quite simply your reputation. And marketing is all of the activities you do to find customers, acquire them, and serve them. Now, a lot of people think of marketing itself as ads and jingles and pre-roll on YouTube and things like that. But that's advertising is just a thin slice, a sliver of marketing. Marketing is about identifying who your customer is, figuring out how to reach them, figuring out the message or messages that would persuade them, and then using whatever tools you need to actually lure them in and get them into the boat, so to speak. So all of that is marketing, and you are, I would say, you're doing some of that stuff, right?
I think so. When you put it that broadly, then yes. A couple examples are I have spoken at probably a dozen or more in conferences over the last several years. I've developed an expertise with respect to ESG investing and value
What's that?
environmental and social. It stands for environmental, social, and governance. And it's about this idea of aligning your investments. It's not all I do by any stretch of the imagination, but I have spoken at a handful of conferences on that topic. And I've actually taught 3 semesters of a graduate school course at CU Boulder on that topic as well. So I guess through those activities. And then I recently did a webinar on the state of the dollar and Bitcoin and gold. And that was another way. So I guess I do those things to kind of get the word out.
Right, right. Okay. And sometimes that's because you think your prospects are in those circles, and sometimes it's just because it's in the industry, and hopefully word will spread and you'll be known as an expert in a way, right? Yeah. So all of that is marketing. It's just not paid advertising. Paid advertising, again, is like the classic ultimate way people think about marketing. But conference talks, industry events, that's absolutely marketing. And if you have to pay your way to go to a conference and pay for the flight and pay for the hotel in order to get up on stage and speak, those are marketing dollars, I would say. Does that make sense?
That does. I haven't actually done that, but I've generally gotten paid to go to conferences. But yes, that makes sense.
Even better. That's the way to go. So then you have been doing marketing, and you've been doing it in order to build up a certain kind of reputation you want in the market and among your clientele. So in that regard, yeah, branding and marketing are useful for you. And then I guess the question would be how, well, because of these goals, you've got some ambitious goals. How much more do you have to do? How much fuel do you have to throw on the fire to find those prospects, to court them, to woo them, and then to land them? So are there more things you have to do? Are there more gifts you have to create? Do you have to have a special holiday party for people with really fancy wine? Do you have to hire a person or two to maybe take care of the day to day so that you can go out and actually do some of these meetings? And frankly, if all of your marketing is one-to-one meetings, and those meetings come from you asking your current clients, who do you think would benefit from me? That's a marketing plan right there.
Yes. I've never gotten up the courage to actually ask that question.
Why?
I don't know. I think I'm a little just it's not my natural kind of, it just feels a little uncomfortable.
So how are you going to find new prospects? What was your plan, or what is your plan?
My plan is that you're going to have 20 extremely wealthy people listening to this podcast, and they're all going to become clients, and then I'm done. And that's easy.
Okay. Well, step 1, get on the podcast. Step 2, record the podcast. Step 3, launch it. Step 4, wait for those 20 high net worth people to start calling you.
Exactly.
By the way, is it pearlwealth.net.org?
Net.
Pearlwealth.net for all of you high net worth listeners who want a very multi-talented, savvy financial planner and investor to take care of your business.
Exactly. But yes, I could ask my clients that question. We just did our first client survey as a firm a few months ago, and almost every client rated my services and our services at a 7 out of 7. So people are satisfied and happy with what we're doing. And that is definitely a path to take, to reach out to them and that question. And I
Is it
also have recently hired someone who, I had one person on the team who does a lot of client service work, and now I have a junior advisor who can help take off more of the substantive work to have more conversations with prospects and new clients.
So does it feel smarmy to reach out to current clients and say, hey, who else should I have as customers?
Well, I call them clients, not customers. Um, I think it's okay to do that. I just haven't done it. I think it's awkward. In my past life, in a past life, this was 20 years ago, I started a nonprofit teaching yoga and meditation to kids in schools. And I vividly remember the idea of asking people to donate money to a nonprofit was like totally anathema to me. I had worked in finance in New York City before that. I had never done anything with a nonprofit, let alone raise money for one. And the thought of it just horrified me. But I remember sitting down with a woman who agreed to be on my board. And she said to me, you just have to ask. You literally just have to look someone in the eye and say, I'm asking you to donate $40,000 to support teaching, 20, whatever, 1,000 kids for a semester in this program. And I remember she made me practice with her, and I went and then did it. And the first person I asked said yes. And I was like, what? And then went on to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the nonprofit each year. But like, it was such a bizarre new thing. And I think this is similar. Like, I've just brought on all my clients through talking about what I do, not directly ever asking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very similar. And I got to say, people who are good salespeople have no qualms, right? They are qualmless. They don't have any qualms to give. They are unabashed about saying, hey, we're trying to sell this. Would you like to buy it? And they don't care about the response. They don't care about getting no's, but they also don't care about that uncomfortable moment when they put that out in between you and wait to see if you say yes or no, or maybe, or call me later. And what you can do is you can either, like you did do prior, practice, or you can outsource the one specific piece of it that is the most awkward for you. For instance, I heard recently there was an issue with musicians who play in coffee houses and whatnot, that they feel awkward and uncomfortable asking for tips. They have a tip jar in the bottom of the stage, and they feel like they're begging, and they feel like it's just awkward as hell. And so the problem wasn't that they don't like tips. The problem was they don't like asking. The solution was not to get them to ask. The solution was whoever's hosting that night, the MC for the event, or maybe even just a random waiter, a random server who's not afraid of the microphone, they get up and they're your hype person and say, hey, for all you who are loving Pixie Sphincter, please give them some tips, put some money in the jar, come on up, don't be afraid. They'd love your support, and they'd really love to keep playing, and your tips really help that. So they outsourced the one little sliver that was the problem. And of course, then people, like you said, people came up and gave tips.
Well, the equivalent here would be hiring like a solicitor, like a solicitation firm to go to high net worth individuals or private family foundations and represent Pearl Wealth and saying this firm has, you know, incredible credentials and track record, and here's the value that's delivered based on the fee charged. And there, I think those types of people do exist. I've just never even considered it.
Oh my God, they exist everywhere. Salespeople, outside sales is what it's called. And they do solicit, they do calls. You can give them the list depending on the organization, they'll bring the list with them. But even asking your current clients, Debbie, that in itself is such a simple step. And maybe it's through email or maybe it's through a note card that you send. So you don't have to look them in the eyes. Or maybe it's one of your staff who said, hey, thank you so much for the survey. We love hearing from you. We love that you love our services. We have one last question to ask. Who do you think would benefit? Who would you recommend? And if they're happy with your services, Debbie, then it's not you asking them for more money. I mean, frankly, it isn't. Or asking for more sales. It's you saying, hey, I provide value to you. Who else could I provide value to? And they would be like, oh my God, you should talk to my friend so and so. And I'm guessing if you just got over that hump, this marketing exercise, this marketing activity could help you with your goal of doubling your business next year.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Right.
Mm.
'Cause clients do, I do deliver a lot of value to them. And the ones that really appreciate that, yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. And you can always do something to add a little bit more when it comes to there's a trick about marketing reciprocity that if you give someone something, they feel a bit obliged to give back. You know, it's just human nature, except for the assholes. I'm a fan of Tony's Chocolonely. I know you are too. And so a little chocolate bar with this request, or a little, I don't know, gift of wine or gift of flowers or whatever it is. This year I'm sending out, and this is totally not with reciprocity in mind, but nonetheless, coasters. I made merino wool felted coasters that say science is thirsty and have my Frelk. And I give that to them and I hope that they use them and remember me. And then when I say, hey, do you know anyone that could benefit from brand science? They say, yeah. By the way, you should talk to my friend Julie at so and so. So yeah, it'll smooth it out, even it out, and maybe not feel so much like you're just asking of them.
How would you, what do the mechanics look like that of this? So that's a holiday gift. You're mailing these out. So obviously we're in holiday season now. So if I mail out a holiday gift the next week or two, would you then, that feels a little whoa, to then ask for.
Yeah, I think I would separate it from the holiday gift itself. You're right, because a holiday gift feels like it should be a gift, no strings attached.
Which it is, exactly.
Right. So obviously, if you've got gifts for your clients lined up, then just do that. And then at some other point, you can just send a note or you can send an email saying, hey, I'm going to be calling you. I have one more question.
Yeah, well, a lot of the people that filled out the client survey agreed to do a 30-minute Zoom to have a deeper conversation. And I would do that with my new employee, Katie, potentially, and come up with a list of questions. And it would mostly be about how can we enhance our value that we're delivering to you. And, you know, one question would be, who else in your orbit do you think could benefit from this? That's within
Yeah.
our sweet spot of clients.
If you don't ask that, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving easy fish in a barrel and you're not shooting them, to
Right.
use a weird metaphor.
It's funny, nothing we've talked about really in the last 10 minutes is about what I would think of as branding.
Right. But it does, in a way, build your reputation.
Right. And Pearl, the reason why I chose Pearl is because it's like well, I think of, and it says this on my website, on our website, that it's a thing of beauty that's formed out of harsh conditions and
Mm-hmm.
very high quality gem. So we're not looking to be like the, you know, everyday financial advisor for everybody. We're a high, a proudly premium product is the
Yeah.
way Tours phrases it. We're not the cheapest offering in town, but we're probably one of the higher value offerings in town. And so that Pearl represents that. We're helping people navigate some complex financial issues and come out with something that they feel really good about when it comes to their assets and their wealth legacy.
Yep. The only other thing you could say about adding a brand level to it is if you became a little more overt or explicit about any of your collateral, your actual background for your Zoom meetings, do you have an office? Do people come into the office?
I do.
So the way the office is decorated, everything from the fresh flowers in the foyer to
Working space. I work out of I have an office at a co-working space. So
yeah, but I'll bet you picked a specific co-working space that has the right feel.
I did. And clients who come in love it.
That's branding, right? That's branding because whatever that space is rubbing off on you and how they feel about you and making them feel a certain way and building your brand image, your reputation. Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be as gaudy as Coca-Cola with the red and white everywhere or Applied Brand Science with the orange and white everywhere and the Frelks. But that is absolutely an exercise in branding. The clothes you wear and the way you do your hair when you have those meetings. If there's scent, I don't know if you do any scent in your office or those little touches. And then, of course, all the little stuff at the desk, whether they have pens or whether you offer them special nice water. Is it Kirkland brand water or is it, Icelandic glacier water?
Exactly.
Right? That's your brand. Hopefully this helps you kind of expand your sense of what marketing is, that it's really just how to go after customers, how to find them and how to woo them and how to deliver what they want. There's a branded element to it, which is building up your reputation. And then with these ambitious goals, your key marketing lever does seem to be, or one of the keys will be to go to your current clients and talk to them and get a referral.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of
Yeah.
my superpowers and kryptonites, to quote Brene Brown, is I like to do everything very high quality. And so it sometimes feels a little scary to do something that I've never done before because I want to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you'll get this one close enough to right for it to be helpful and to help you get to your goal for next year.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. I look forward to hearing how it goes.
I will keep you posted.
All right, Debbie, thank you so much for chatting.
Of course. Thanks, Ethan.
Are you planning a big team offsite, a sales meeting, or a large company event, and you want to bring in a speaker who will blow people away? Then your first call should be Oprah. But if you can't get Oprah, call me. Also, if you got something out of this episode, think of one person who might also get something out of it and send it to them as a way of saying, hey, thinking of you.